The next big thing is a little thing.
You may have failed, but you are not a failure. That was a moment in your life. That was one season. It doesn't determine your future. Don't let that mistake define who you are. If you go around wearing negative labels, divorced, addicted, failed, compromised, it will keep you from the fullness of what God has in store.
Everywhere you go, people are more focused on doing the big things in life. Why earn just 6 figures when you could become a millionaire? So no matter what it is that you're trying to go for, stop focusing on the big stuff and focusing on what is the tiny daily discipline I have to do. What is the little thing? Rather than what is that big overwhelming goal? What is the true daily ritual that is so small and so easy you can do it every day?
I want you to understand little things matter. And until you understand that little things matter, you will never be able to fulfill your destiny.
There's no question that God has a dream for every person. But with that dream always comes, with God's dream, there always comes hell's nightmare to try to steal that dream. And if you don't learn to endure the nightmare, you will never experience the dream. So many people give up and quit because they have a dream planted by God in their heart, but then comes the nightmare. I want to show you that this is a biblical pattern. I want to show you that it is impossible for God to give a person a dream, and He does give people dreams for their life, a desire to end. A dream, again, is a projected destiny of where you shall be, where your family shall be, where your marriage shall be, where your life shall be. And never does God plant that in your heart with that dream that the enemy doesn't come with his nightmare. And unless you can endure, hell's nightmare, you'll never experience heaven's dream for your life.
Great people do little things with excellence. Great people don't just do great things with excellence. They do little things with excellence. They understand how important it is to do normal things. In fact, it is a sure sign that you're going to end up in a great place when you give great detail to little things.
The moment that most people give up is the moment of the greatest opportunity. Everything you want is on the other side of not giving up. And I promise you, when God puts a dream in your heart, the nightmare will come. What is the nightmare? It's the pathway to your destiny. You cannot get to the dream without the nightmare and the pathway of the nightmare, because it purifies you. It purifies your motives. The nightmare is the enemy trying to steal that dream and get you to give up. The question is, can God trust you with trouble? Because the moment that the enemy senses you have a God-given dream, he will try to send the opposite and cause a nightmare. And if God can put you in trouble, it's a vote of heaven's confidence in you. Trouble and the nightmare is a vote of heaven's confidence in you. Your trouble is your pathway to triumph. Your pain is your pathway to a higher praise. Your mess is a pathway to the miraculous things of God in your life.
Your brain is divided into 2 halves, positive and negative, good and evil. It don't function on nothing else. Ain't no neutral ground in your brain. It's either positive and good or negative and evil. Each half of your brain has millions of factory workers on each side. You got 1 million factory workers on the positive side. You got 1 million factory workers on the negative side. At the forefront of each one of those factories in your brain is a foreman. You got foreman positive and you got foreman negative. You are in charge. You're the boss of the factory. You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it. Change your attitude, you change your altitude.
Sometimes we want to look at the very end result, and we want to see how in the world we'll ever get there. But God is just saying, look at today. My grace is sufficient for today. Everything you need is here today. I think the trouble we get into is we start working on tomorrow's grace today. We say, but what about tomorrow, God? When God is saying, don't worry about tomorrow, just work on today. I got tomorrow handled. You know, and then when we start doing these kind of things, we start questioning ourselves. Then we start having these doubts and we have fears, and maybe I'm not enough, maybe I'm not adequate, maybe I don't have what it takes. And then we start going down the wrong road. But God said, before the foundation of the world, He already knew you. And He's already equipped you to do whatever He's going to call you to do.
If you don't know where you are going, you don't know what it takes to get there. Motivation turns to frustration if you don't have information.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can only motivate me so long. It's going to be wonderful one day. It's going to be good one day. Don't worry, hang in there. It's going to be good one day. And, you know, that takes me for a while. But when gray hair starts popping up and knees start going out, you start saying, wait a minute. It's been a lot of days and a lot of months and a lot of years, and I'm still stuck and I'm running out of time.
God has been speaking to me lately that the deepest things He will do in my life start shallow. But God can do a deep thing with a shallow start. You do not think your way out of the flow of fear, failure, and frustration by thinking deeper about it. It broke the flow when they did something different. I'm gonna have to talk to people different. I'm gonna have to manage my thought life different. I'm gonna have to manage my time different. I'm gonna have to manage my money different. And we hear the truth and we still won't tithe.
To just about everybody, being in bed in the morning feels good.
Yeah.
It's warm, you're tired. Hitting the snooze button is a very real temptation that everybody can relate to. So instead of hitting the snooze button, just get up and get out of bed. That's it. And that disciplined decision, next thing you know, you're in the gym, you're working out. And that disciplined decision, next thing you know, when it comes to breakfast, instead of eating donuts, instead of eating those things, you're eating a piece of beef jerky, or you're having a cup of tea, or you're just drinking a glass of water and doing an intermittent fast. And then when you get done with that, now you sit down to work and you're feeling like you're on the right path. And so you say, you know what, I'm gonna knock this stuff out. So then you start working and you work harder.
When people see other people who have great accomplishments, they assume that they have no fear. The reality is, you gotta feel the fear, baby girl, and do it anyway. You got to do it anyway. If you are waiting for your feelings to line up with your decisions, your life will always be on hold. You don't have to ask your emotions to give you permission to be who you were created to be. Everybody has some angst, some fear, some negative voice saying, who are you? But some people rebuke it.
Yes.
And other people birth it. The difference between rebuking it and birthing it is how long you nurture the thought. The thought comes like a seed in the womb of your mind. You can either incubate it, carry it through 3 trimesters and birth it in your failure, or you can say, this is not mine, it's not on my agenda, I reject it, and I'm gonna continue on my course. I founded the church. It's not like a board hired me and I came in, I work a job. I'm not a hired gun. That means I did the painting and the cleaning and the rent negotiating and hiring the staff as we finally got staff. I went through all of that process from the ground up. And not only that, what a lot of people know me as a preacher, but they don't know my entertainment company is older than the Potter's House. And I started that company with a little bit of money, started touring around the country doing plays and entertainment, things like that, stumbled into an opportunity to do a movie, stumbled into an opportunity to enter into a contract with Sony Pictures, who is my partner in producing movies that have grossed over $500 million at the box office. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish.